What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Power Hour. So we're approaching Power Hour. Market, what are we going to say here? It's down almost 600 points on the day, 3% on the NASDAQ, and when I look at it over my 10 years of trading, anytime you get the Qs, the NASDAQ down, 1.5%, 2%, something is going on, right? Big catalyst, big news, something. This, 30 years ago would make people be jumping out of the 20th floor on Wall Street. But this is the market that we're in now. The market that we're in right now has the volatility, has the range to stretch 2%, 2.5%, 3% as we are today. So as we get closer into this Power Hour, one thing that I want to kind of keep in mind here, what I'm looking at, let's forget about the short today. Okay, we already know that it's just been a massive short day today. If we literally look at the first 5-minute candle, it was a 20, or the candle coming into the market open, it was a 20 SMA play setup that immediately off the bell flushed, confirmed, and then just dropped, right? So what we were looking at here was from market open, we are looking at this kind of confirm this 19,474. Guys, we traded all the way down to around 19,000. So almost 400 points to the downside since the market opened. And we've got a range today of upwards of 550 points. So what I'm looking at, 20 SMA, that's on the screen. I'm looking at the initial balance, which is this black box, and I've got some fibs on the chart. Now, basically, I've just been kind of adjusting these fibs to the new low of day to kind of see, where potentially could overhead supply be, where potentially, give me 1 second, guys. Where potentially, this market's gonna stop, right? And again, if you are a trader today who was trying to call the bottom, okay, trying to call the bottom, more than likely you got stopped out, right? I'm looking at the 30-minute chart on another screen that I have here, and I mean, literally, right? Literally, this is nothing short of incredible of what's gone on today as far as the selling. First 30-minute candle down, second 30-minute candle confirmed, came into the linear regression and flushed, right? That's around 7:30 my time. So that first hour after the market opened, really drastic selling. Then we had about, an hour and a half to 2 hours of just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, before finally the last hour we made that new low yet again. So when you really start to look at what's going on here, if you've been trying to call these bottoms and you've been trying to get in on these bounces, it's been very, very hard. The smart thing to do, again, the few setups that I seen today, if you're not just jumping in short and kind of riding momentum, is this 30-minute opening range to the downside. Okay, initial balance, confirmation, and rejection to the downside. 20 SMA play that happened, the first one that we got when we got this retest here, looking at around 9:20 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, short. Second one that we got around 10:30, that did not confirm until 10:40, short yet again. So as we've put in these new lows, what do we really do, right? What kind of power hour are we looking at? Are we going to continue to flush another 40, 50, 60, 100 points into the close? It's entirely possible, right? If you are one of these traders that's trying to catch the bottom here, what I'm looking at is from the lows, right? From this new recent low of day, which again is very close to being tested, by the way, just keep that in mind, 11:20. So we're looking at around 30 minutes ago, we put in the last low of day, okay? If you have to, because you just can't see yourself chasing this short anymore, which I agree with you, right? If we're still looking to chase this short and we did not short, or we're not green on our P&L because we've shorted already today, then yes, definitely sit out of the market. The only thing, because we're at the absolute low of the 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 day here, you have an opportunity for a cheap long. Now, again, this is majorly, right? If that's even a word, majorly going against a trend, right? Because if the trend has shown us literally since the market opened that we can't find a buyer in sight, what are we doing looking for the long? Okay. The only reason I'm going to justify why there might be a long here is because of this. If the sellers sweep this low of day, right below this 19,030 range. If they sweep, it could be a trap. Okay, and then you might see that quick 20, 30, 40 point reversal bounce. Now, again, I don't really have any supply until around 19,092 and then 19,138. So those would be the price targets if they sweep the lows, trap those new shorts that are getting in way late on this move, and then reverse it higher. Those would be the kind of the price targets, unless you're looking for a quick scalp, 10, 15, 20 points. If you're looking for the continuation of the short, it's very easy, right? If we start to break down below 19,030, have at it and give yourself an opportunity to, try to make some points off of it. But because this market is down 3%, 585 points on the day, on the session right now, it's very hard to kind of find those price targets, right? If we are going to continue to short, your better bet on the shorts is to let it bounce if it happens, and then try to get rejected somewhere in the 80s, somewhere in the 19,100s if it happens, right? Again, this downtrend doesn't get broken until we take out a prior swing high, and that's not all the way up until 19,180. So we're like 130, 140, 150 points off from even remotely breaking this session's downtrend. So making the day extremely hard to trade. Now, again, I've been sitting back for the past couple of hours. I took some great scalps to the downside. I've taken one lengthy trade to the downside. So I've been watching price action and getting a little restless the last hour and a half to, even 2 hours before this last drop. Now, I didn't participate in this 20 SMA, this last drop here. I know a couple of members and Evolution traders did, which is very, very good. Because this floor, you can see the floor that was building, right? Like, look at where I'm dragging my cursor, right? Look at this floor that was being built. So once we started to break through it, any type of confirmation on a following candle that comes below it, you can definitely give yourself an opportunity. Now, there was more than enough range in these candles to pick up, 10, 15, 20 points on the downside. If you did, congratulations. If you didn't, and you're kind of waiting for that bounce to re-short, like I said, you've got some supply sitting in the 80s. You've got some supply sitting at 19,100. Do we get there? I don't really know, guys. It's a very tough trade. I was originally looking for a little bit of a dead cat bounce down here. Again, I know going against a trend, but for me, there's just not a lot of value to chase something that's down 600 points. Now, the same narrative, the same question could have been said when we're down 250 points, right? I don't want to chase something down 250. I don't want to chase something down 300. I don't want to chase something down 400, and we continue to push lower, right? So again, if anyone would have just got short at any point in time of the day and just held on for the ride, more than likely you would have made money, right? We have not closed over the 20 SMA on a 5-minute time frame where that candle has actually been confirmed in any push up to the upside. It's just been pressure down, pressure down, pressure down. Even I'm looking at the 30-minute time frame chart here. We've never gotten even remotely close to testing the 20 SMA. We've never even, besides one 30-minute candle, have not even closed above the 5 SMA, okay? So that's why I'm saying right now could be a little bit of an opportunity for that dead cat bounce, only because your risk is the line in the sand, baby. Like there's not that much that needs to really go into this as a thought process. If you do get long here, see green, take green. I still believe in that. If you're looking for a higher price target, 80s and then 100s, but it gives you that clear out, right? Anything below like 19,030, 19,025, you've got to cut it. I wouldn't recommend trading mini contracts. I definitely recommend just throwing on maybe just a couple of micros max to see if you can catch a little something if you're still interested. And if we do go down another 15, 20 points, you've got to cut it, right? So if you're trading one micro and you're giving yourself 20 points, which we could very well break down and put in a low here, 20 points on one micro is $40. So if you're trading two of them, you lost around $80, right? It is what it is. $80 I don't think is really going to make or break you, whether you're in an evaluation, you're in a personal account, or you're in a funded account. But there's a lot of potential upside, right? Like if the trade does work out and it goes in your favor, and we do one of these things that the market likes to do where it likes to bounce 100, 150 points into the close, then you've got a great opportunity. For all of the shorts, out there, because there's always two sides to the trade, and there wouldn't be a market if there wasn't buyers, and there wouldn't be a market if there wasn't sellers. Your opportunity comes once we start to break below 19,030. Now, here's the thing. If I'm looking at the short, I'm going to almost want to see 19,030 get broken. And then I'm going to want to see that new low, and I want to see that price. And then I'm going to look for a following candle to confirm that new low price. And then maybe I'll try to scalp it for 5, 10, 15 points, right? Again, just due to the fact that we are down 600 points. I mean, I don't really know, you know, again, the market can go down another 100, but I don't really know how much room is left in this overall trade. When you go to your daily chart, we're sitting at a pretty big level. I'm going to pull up my daily chart on another chart here. What I'm looking at here, where we're sitting at on the daily, we are resting at the 100 simple day moving average and the 100 exponential moving average on a daily time frame. Okay, so what I want you guys to kind of notice, and going forward into this week, because we got a lot of things going on this week, if we have a big green open tomorrow or a big gap up, okay, let's say we gap up 100, 150 points, 200 points, be patient off the open. Wait for confirmation that there's going to be some type of trend to the upside, or wait for that rejection, because anything below, now whether it happens tomorrow, whether it happens Wednesday, whether it happens Friday, whether it happens next week, anything below today's lows is coming down into 18,000s. Okay, and I've got support at 18,700. So this market's got about another 300 to 350 points to the downside before we even get down into macro support. We're bouncing a little bit here. Again, that resistance, aka supply, is sitting at 19,081. So be cautious. If you did buy off the floor here, you're running yourself right into a brick wall. Again, if you're trading small size, you can allow this to wiggle a little bit, because remember, we're going to use that low of day as a stop. If you're looking for that higher price target, if you're an absolute monster, you're an absolute risk, you know, muncher, where you're playing minis right now and you're in this, you know, $200, $300, $400 in the profit, just see green, take green, guys. Please don't come back here and say that you tried to bounce and then the market pushed lower and then you lost and blew up your account. Don't be stupid. Okay, that's the number one thing. Traders tend to get greedy, they tend to get stupid, and tend to do idiotic things. Manage your position size. I'll give you guys another tidbit here. If you're up $500 today, you best damn believe that you shouldn't be risking any more than half of that. So $250 max risk on this trade. If you're up $1,000, your max risk is going to be $500. Even though if you do take the loss, you're going to feel like absolute dog shit, at least you're going to end the day positive and in the green. Forget about the trailing intraday high watermark threshold. If you're trading with Apex, just be fucking happy that you're going to finish green. Okay. And because if you are up $500, $1,000 or even more, I don't even know why you're still trading. Right? Unless you're just playing around here with price action and you're playing one or two micro contracts where you can easily manage that risk. Again, anyone up over $500 today, you should not, I repeat, not be trading mini contracts. It's just foolish. It's just stupid. You're setting yourself up for failure. Again, I'm in a Top Step combine right now because I got 4 of them, a lot of the, and it's not that much, but 4 of them accounts that I have with Apex, PA accounts, they're all eligible for a payout. So I'm not going to do anything here stupid to jack that up, right? I'm trying to get this payout submitted and not lose my fucking ass on a potential trade trying to make more money. So I've got all of these submitted. I'm just going to let them do their thing. I'm not going to fuck with the balance anymore. I'm going to trade my Top Step combine. And that's it. It is what it is, right? So, you know, we did good on the combine, but again, it's an evaluation. We don't really, you know, put too much sauce on that burger, you know? So again, it is what it is. It's a combine, it's a valuation. I trade them very, very aggressively. It is 150K combine. And I'm actually going to look to with Top Step, because I like some of the things that they're doing over there. In terms of removing that daily loss limit, again, I was never really a fan of the daily loss limit. I believe that if you are a newer trader, it's definitely beneficial and definitely helpful especially if you're using the TopStep X platform where you can manually lock yourself out and manually set your personal daily loss limit. I think that that's very, very critical and key. If you've been around the game for a little bit and you do have a good sense of how to trade and you like to pass evaluations slash asterisk combines aggressively, and you like to pass them quickly, you already know you got to trade large size, you got to go for broke on these things, and you got to get through them as fast as possible. I need all the drawdown I can get. So again, with $150,000 account evaluation, I got to make 9,000, right? And the reason why I'm flipping to 150Ks on TopStep, I want the drawdown. I want the drawdown. I've been realizing a lot lately, especially in this market, you know, these are wild times that we're in, right? And I'm just shooting the shit with you guys like we're at the round table, like we're inside the garage talking shit. I don't know what's going to happen here in terms of, you know, the election process, in terms of coming into the end of the year, Q3. It's just there's a lot of things I think that are underlying that are moving the markets, and I don't want to decipher and figure them out. Ranges are a lot bigger, volatility is a lot higher, and at the end of the day, I feel more comfortable having that bigger drawdown. Okay, it's just like if someone was to tell you, right? If someone wants to tell you this, hey, I'll give you $2,000 to put into a trading account, or I'll give you $4,500, right? What would you take? I'm going to take the $4,500 because I've got a little bit more cushion there and I'm not going to be as stressed, right? So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to kind of see that, because I don't have to. And here's the thing that I see a lot of times too. I see a lot of times traders will go after the bigger accounts because they have quote unquote more drawdown, but they screw everything up because they trade bigger size. Trade a 150K account or trade a 250K account the way you would trade a freaking 50K account. Are you going to make as much money? No, you're not going to make as much money. But at the end of the day, you're protecting yourself and you're sticking around the business. By the way, guys, we just got rejected on a 5-minute time frame at the 20 SMA. So if we look at the 5-minute time frame here, we look at this prior swing high from the last green big spike candle here, we ran right into that area. That 19,080s mark that I was looking at resistance, it's kind of trickled down a little bit, and it's trading at 77s right now because the price action is being held down. But if the market, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts at this area, what I'm looking at here is anything over 19,075 to kind of close out the day here. NASDAQ can get a little bit of a push up into this prior floor. Okay, now this prior floor is matching up with my 23.6% retracement at 19,130s. So if we get over, again, everything's always an if, right, when it comes to trading, but if we get over 19,075, potentially the market can kind of push into the close to around 19,138. Those are the levels I'd be looking at. Again, that line in the sand, that red line you see there, 19,030, that's the low of day. Can you give yourself an opportunity to try to scalp that to the downside? Absolutely. But again, this late in the day, I wouldn't be looking for a home run here. I'd be looking to see green, take green. So with that being said, let's just kind of watch and see how the market wants to play out a little bit. I am completely flat here on this TopStep combine. So we're just going to kind of take it slow and steady Eddie. Again, it is a combine, so there's not a whole lot of emotions for me on any future trades that I take with this account, because again, I'm only in this for 150 bucks, right? So it's not like, you know, things become emotional until I get into the funded stage and add this to my existing 2 XFA accounts with TopStep. It is what it is. Have not traded any XFAs with TopStep, honestly, in about a week, because I was really fucking grinding those Apex accounts to get them to pay out threshold, and this pay period, again, the holiday kind of jacked everything up, you know, because Apex was only counting Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as one trading day. So for one of those accounts, I needed one more trading day, so I'm not even eligible to get those get that one submitted for approval until tomorrow. but the other three are pending now. So again, we'll see. I don't even want to get into any of the video, you know, fucking verification or nothing like that. We'll just play that out as it comes, right? Like if they hit me with the video verification, sure, fine. I've got 3,000 fucking videos on YouTube. I'll turn the camera on, I'll start talking, I'll talk through the way I would take a trade, what I'm using as a risk and how I'm doing it, whatever. Whether they choose to approve the damn thing or not it is what it is. But I will tell you this, if Apex does ever hit me with the video verification and they don't fucking approve my style of trading, or they don't approve the payout, I will fucking wrap them up and I will go completely solely with Top Step and Take Profit Trader, and I'll probably look for something else to try as well. So again, because at the end of the day, you know, trading prop firm is not my full-time gig. Like for those of you guys who know me, I've said this 100 times already. Those of you guys in the room already know. Options is my bread and butter. We caught a fucking absolute fantastic trade on Nvidia today, $1,700 in the green on those Nvidia puts. So we're rocking and we're rolling, right? Again, prop firm, it's funny money, right? Funny money until we get it in our pockets. Again, DC, he's in the chat. DC's a member in my room. He got paid $9K from them this month, no video review. My last pay period from the 15th, I submitted two accounts for payout, 2,000 and 2,000. No video verification was needed. We also have another member, Burks, who's been taking out some cash. He took out well over $4,000, $6,000 this in the month of August. No video verification either. So again, we're not even gonna talk about that shit. We'll worry about that when it comes, right? Like again, we spend all our time on the forums and on the interwebs asking everyone what they think and is it right and is it you know, fair. All we're doing is taking time and efforts away from our things that matter, and that's trading, right? Because at the end of the day, I know traders, guys, old time guys, right? Like old time guys, they will not even have a P&L on the screen. Like they don't even know how much they're making on a day in and day out basis. Basically, they're looking at the charts. They've got all these fucking charts up on all these monitors, and when the setup confirms, they're putting on positions. When the next setup confirms on another instrument, they're putting on positions. They're putting on positions. They're exiting positions. Their take profits are being hit. Stop loss hit, get out of that trade. And then they're working it just like that. Why? Okay, because it's always about the next trade. This one particular trade, even if this market flushes 50 points or it bounces 150 points, I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys, is not going to be the one that's going to retire you. It's not going to be the one that's going to allow you to, you know, buy the cabin in the woods. It's not going to be the last trade of your life. It means absolutely nothing. Focus on the next trade because the next trade is coming. So get in tune with the markets and start putting on positions when your setups start to arise. Like, so for example, if we break down through 1930, I'll take a trade short on a few micros. I'll look for 10, 15, 20 points. If we close over this 20 SMA and confirm, I'll do the same damn thing. I'll look for 10, 15, 20 points. I'll put on those trades. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not sitting here worried about the fucking payout structures with any of these prop firms. I'm not sitting here crying about the market being down 600. I can't believe it's down 600 today. Why wasn't there a bounce earlier in the day? I don't care. Okay, I don't care. That means nothing to you as a trader. A lot of times on social media, especially social media, I see so many traders crying about things that are out of your control that you have no power over. Okay, you have no control over them, so don't worry about them, right? Don't worry about them. Give me 1 second here, guys. I got to send a little text off here. So let's see here. We got 45 minutes until the market close. Again, I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for a get back over the 20 SMA over this little, I'm going to mark this out here just so it's clear. I'm looking for a get off over 1978s, right? Or I'm looking for the flush. I'm looking for two things. That's all I'm looking for. It's all I really care about. I don't care about what happened earlier in the day. I don't care about none of that. Again, normally I do not trade at this hour, but because I can't trade any PAs and because this is a evaluation account, quote unquote, we're going to trade, right? So that's the only difference for some of you guys who are wondering, you know, how do you trade evaluations? Not me particularly, I don't think any of you guys sit there and wonder about me. I'm talking about yourself. If you're wondering, how do you trade evaluations versus how do you trade funded accounts? There's two ways to do that. You can trade an evaluation account, small size, smart, responsible, take 30 days, 45 days, 60 days to pass them responsibly, just the same way that you would trade a funded account. Or you can go balls to the wall and hammer trades, hammer setups, a little bit more size, trade outside of your normal time zone window. Like my time zone window, 6:30 in the morning to around 9:30. That's my active window, so to speak. That 3-hour window is where I like to trade and where I like to find a lot of my setups. But because we're trying to actively and progressively pass these accounts as fast as we can, it's got my ass still sitting here at power hour, right? And again, I do really like the idea of getting at least a couple 150 plus K accounts just because of the drawdown and just because of the comfortability, be able to run it up a little bit more. Again, going into the new year, I'm going to make a serious push here on the prop firm space. I've been a little quiet on the prop firm space, but I'm looking to start making some fucking noise around here. We'll take it a little bit more serious. A little bit more serious, just due to the fact that, you know, the payouts have been steady Eddie, and there's money to be made, right? If you know what you're doing, there's definitely money to be made. So if you are someone that doesn't necessarily have cash, you know, to kind of load up a personal account and start trading, you know, you don't got 5,000, 10,000, 25,000 to put into a personal account, prop firms is probably going to be your best friend. It's your best friend. You can learn a skill set and you can use that skill set to make money, right? And depending on your financial situation, it could definitely be a great source of income, added income to your bottom line for your 9 to 5 or your retirement or whatever it is that you do. You know, or it can be a nice side hustle. Maybe you're in school, maybe you're in college, maybe you're in between, transitioning in between jobs. You know, it can definitely provide an opportunity. You know, and if you have goals and aspirations of being, you know, a full-time trader, look, I've been full-time, what you would call trading, for about 8 years, 7 years now. It's fucking hard, right? It's hard. No, I do not offer copy trading services. No, I believe that everyone, if you want to trade, you should trade on your own. That's the worst thing I think anyone can do for you. Well, that's the worst thing you can do for yourself is copy trade, because you have no idea what the heck is going on. Because if at that point, give me $50,000 and I'll trade the money for you. How about that? Right? Again, asterisk. I'm not taking anyone's money to trade for them. I'm just saying, you know, why would you want to copy someone's trades? Your emotions, your risk tolerance is different than mine. And you'll never get anywhere. I'm not saying AJ that you are looking for that type of service, but I just strongly recommend against any of that crap. Especially if you guys see that type of stuff popping up from, you know, maybe other creators, or maybe you're looking for a software or service, or because you're looking for the easy way out. And I'll be the first to tell you, if you can't do it on your own, just get out of the business. Just get out of the business. The business is not for you. You know, the business is not for you. We have not, Melissa, we have not had any issues in our room. The last payout that I got was from them in the 15th pay cycle of August. And we've also had a lot of other members as well in Evolution Traders, the guys I trade with. Nobody so far has had an issue. Nobody has been denied. And nobody on our end has got that video request. Again, I'm seeing a ton of people that are saying that they got it. We haven't experienced it yet. So when and if I do ever experience it, I will give my thoughts and I will give my update on how that process went. But in the meantime, I'm not going to let it deter the way that I trade, and I'm not going to really worry about it until it affects me. And like I said, if it does affect me in a negative way where I jump through these hula hoops for them and something goes wrong, there's other firms out there for me that will gladly take my business. But over the weekend, we had Trader Kane. I think you guys can find him on Twitter. Who just got approved for $1 million payout. So, you know, I don't, and he had to submit the video verification. I mean, that guy from I believe he's from the UK. He's pumping out serious numbers over there. So if, right, because again, we take everything with face value. If Apex is willing to pay out $93,000 an account times his 20 for over $1 million payout, you think they're really worried about the guy or gal who's trying to take out 2, 4, 6, 7, 8,000, right? 10,000? Probably not, right? Probably not. Small fries and small potatoes, guys. If I was a business owner in Apex's position, I'd really be look him up on Twitter. I don't know his name, but I know his first name or last name is Kane, Kane, Trader Kane. Just do some searching for him on Twitter. Getting a little break here over the 20 SMA, guys. Let's see if this can confirm and we can get over the 78. An eye on the floors as well. So far, yet again, we're getting rejected off this 20 SMA. I was looking for a 78 break to the upside. Maybe that gave us room into 100. But now that we can't get over, the 19,030 level becomes back in play. Again, the only thing I'm cautious about the 1930 short is the immediate trap where it washes out 5, 6, 7, 8 points and then immediately fucking reverses, right? I've seen it so many times in the past. Again, I'm in the mindset of see green, take green if you're playing aggressive size on the breakdown like that. And if you're playing smaller size, I mean, we definitely got to give ourselves a little bit more of a price target. Right now, the ATR is trading at 24.9, so we're looking at around a 25 point ATR on a 5-minute time frame. I'm looking for, if you're trading micros, at least 15-20 points. Anywhere between 15 and 20 points, I believe, is a good take profit on the scalp on micros. How's everyone doing out there? Are we green today? We red today? Let's put a poll up and let's kind of see where we're at, right? Where are we at? Give me 1 second here. Curious to know how everyone's doing out there. I should have added that as well. Neutral, flat. Nothing wrong with being flat. Nothing wrong with making a little money, losing a little money, finishing scratch. Nothing wrong with losing a little money, making a little money, finishing scratch. That to me is a win because you're showing emotional discipline and control. At the end of the day, there's a lot of traders who lack the control to stop trading when they go green and back to flat, red and then back to flat, or go red and then back to flat. Everyone always thinks that they're just going to make it all back plus some, and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you gotta just take it for what it is, right? Either you didn't get a good read on the market, or the market didn't provide those opportunities around your setup, and that's okay, right? Because guess what? Tomorrow the market's going to open again, right? And as long as, God willing, you guys open your eyes tomorrow, you guys are also able to trade. So it's not like you're missing out on that much. It's a never-ending cycle of the same shit, right? Every single day, week after week, month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. 71% people green. Not bad. Good. Testing that low of day here again at the 30s. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna grab some water. This came down 19,031. Prior low was 19,030 and a half. Absolutely no buyers in the market today, which is fine, right? It's not like we're only looking for bounces or anything like that. And plenty of money to be made on the short side today, 1,000%. It's just you gotta start wondering, you gotta start wondering, where are the buyers, right? Where are the buyers? under the hood here might be a little bit more damaged than a lot of people want to actually think. You know, we had those earnings kick off with Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia is down huge today, right? Nvidia, it's down 10%. $11 on Nvidia. Nvidia is completely smashed through every level of support. There's the trap to 19,025, guys. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to see, we got 1 more minute until this candle closes. I'm going to see, I might try to take an opportunity to bounce and use 1925 as a stop. 1925 as a stop. Micros. I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna use 1925 as a stop. So I'm running about a 15-point stop loss on this potential play here. We're playing three micros. I'll let you guys know if I get stopped out what that loss was. I'm probably going to go a point below, a point and a half, 2 points max below the 1925. So I might run a stop loss at 22, 23, somewhere in that range. Again, I'm going 100,000% against the trend here. Very dangerous, very risky. We're only playing micros and we've got a healthy cushion to a healthy cushion on the P&L to work with here. So there's a Top Step X account. If you guys can see that, there's that Top Step X Combine account here. Looks like we're going to get rejected. I'm going to have to get stopped out. This Nvidia, I mean, has shattered every level. We've got 5 and 10-day moving average completely curling over. We've lost the 50-day moving average on a daily. We're below the 20. We're below the 100 simple moving average. Here comes that. I'm going to have to get stopped out here. That the next support on Nvidia is sitting at 100. There's the 23s. We're down $88 here. There, I'm out, guys. What we're looking at here, $100.65, guys. That was around an $85 loss on 3 micros there. We gave it an attempt to see if the buyers were going to step in. They did not. We move on to the next trade. What I'm going to do here is adjust my fib to the new low of day here at 15s. But I'm looking at $100.65 as the next major support on Nvidia. So, you know, if that's the case, right, and Nvidia, if that's the case where, you know, Nvidia has been driving the market for so long and it continues to wash out into 100, 101, you got to think, right, it's bringing the entire market with it for so long. I would say the last year and a half to 2 years, the Nvidia has been absolutely just carrying the market. Took a trade short of every pullback to the EMA today. Good. Keep making money. Yeah, I mean, let's see what some of the other big dogs are doing here. Apple down 3% into its 50-day moving average today. If Apple confirms today's lows, it's got room to 218. We might want to keep that on watch for tomorrow for all of you options players. If we look at Tesla as well, still hovering over some support here, but has put in a lower high rejection right around this 50-day moving average. Tesla has room below 209 into around 206 and then back down to 202. So maybe Tesla's maybe a couple days away before setting up something big on the macro chart. It is a little bit of an inverse hammer. We need to keep that in mind. We're going to look at Amazon here. Same kind of deal. Amazon is still over, right? It had a good pop on Friday. It's still trapped in closing as an inside range day today. Amazon will need to lose 172 before there's any more real potential downside. So I don't really see nothing on Amazon yet. If I look at AMD, absolutely obliterated today, down $12. There was that trap I was talking about, guys, where we kind of washed out the low of day and then it immediately got sucked back up. So I'm not going to jump back into a long position here until it gives me an active 20 SMA setup. Okay, if it can give me an active 20 SMA setup to the long side, I'll be interested. Short side, you know, I'm not going to keep chasing this thing down. It's already a runaway train. AMD doesn't have any support on a daily time frame until about 127. So what I'll be looking at on things like NVIDIA and AMD as far as options is any type of green open or gap up. I'm going to look for the rejection and the loss through the previous day low. That's exactly how I'll be playing those two names. Right now, those two names look the best to me. Apple looks okay as well. Google is right here at the 200-day moving average. Google, same kind of deal. If Google starts to give up the 200-day moving average, you know, look out, right? Look out. It could be breaking a very, very long uptrend on Google, going all the way back to the last time we were trading below the 200-day moving average on Google was last year. So there's the new low of day, 19,007. Again, anyone who keeps shorting this market on any little pop, you know, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. Continuously putting in new lows. I mean, guys, the last time we were down around 500 intraday, again, we had that day not too long ago within the last month where we gapped down and the market was down 1,000 points, and then the next that day it kind of like started to bounce. But intraday wise, where we've been down 600 points, when was the last time? I know we had a 500 point day recently, but this is massive. Insane. Adjusting these fibs again, 18,997 is the low. Jeez. What an absolute destruction of a chart. What else is out there? Meta's kind of resting at its 50-day moving average. S&P 500 coming into its daily 50-day moving average. S&P's has got room to around 549. So it's still got another couple bucks there before we run into any serious support. Again, you know, before this market bounces on the S&P's, I mean, I could see it coming down to 545, 548 before this move is over. We got about 23 minutes left of the market, getting a little bit of a, you know, continuation here to the downside. See if we put in a new low. 97 is the active low. Look at this daily candle. 685 point range today. We're into those 18,000s as well. Weekly chart is confirming last week's lows, pushing lower. Yeah, I could see this market coming down into 18,800s, middle 800s. Maybe we get a small dead cat bounce from there, and then below that, you know, you could imagine 700s would be next. And again, I mean, just all in all, we gotta go and roll with the price action that we're getting on a day in and day out basis. You know, we can sit here, and you know, do all this analyzing and come up with all of these ideas, and then it not do what we thought it was going to do. So we have to always be ready. New lows, 988. We have to just roll with what the market is giving us, right? Now, you know, you could be looking at the chart and saying, wow, it's time to bounce here. But if the chart keeps going lower, You know, you got to find those setups in your strategy that are going to go lower. If the market does bounce, now, let's say tomorrow it puts in I mean, we're down 625 points. If the market bounces 200, 300 points tomorrow, are you just going to sit and look for the longs? If you're getting a little bit of that short or long opportunity on a small time frame to maybe take a scalp right to the long side, well, you got to go with what the market is giving you, right? You know, macro wise, bulls have a lot of work to do before they even remotely get close to, you know, being back in control. So again, by no means am I saying a dead cat bounce tomorrow means that this is the generational low of a fucking lifetime, right? It just means that there might be a little bit of an opportunity to, you know, take a scalp long tomorrow on a dead cat bounce. But ultimately what you're looking for is you're looking for that bounce, that rejection, and then the loss of today's lows for you to go ahead and get back in. This market, it's incredible. It's incredible. This is incredible to keep watching here. I'm curious to know if anyone is still trading, or you guys are kind of just sitting back like I am and all. I've got daily support at 750s. I'm not saying we're going to get there today, but I'm just saying that would ultimately be the next stop. Absolutely incredible. We put in a low on the 30-minute time frame, consolidated for 1 hour, lost the lows. There was the next short, right? If I show you guys this, which I recommend you guys to start looking at your 30-minute charts, your 1 hour charts. Remember how I was looking for that break over the 78, you know, potentially the test 100s? That was looking at the 30-minute highs, right? If we look at those 30-minute lows, once we broke through, right, we put in that new low, we consolidated for 1 hour, and then once we lost the low, we flushed, right? I got to adjust this again. See, this is the area here I'm talking about. So you see how that works here below that 19,025. We put in a low, we consolidated for 1 hour, was looking for the long break over 78s, didn't happen. Could take this off now. But if you were looking just as the same to the downside, well, then there was your breakdown to the downside. And from 1925 to 960s, I mean, we're talking about almost, you know, almost 70 points. Almost 70 points. We're down 650 points. My last trade, I was just looking on the wrong side. I was looking for some kind of exhaustion bounce. Didn't get it. And the sellers are just crazy in charge. Got about 15 minutes here before the market closes. You might get one big move coming here within the next 5, 6, 7 minutes, whether it be a nice little bounce back into this rejection spot at 40s or a continuation flush through 55s. Again, if you're still out there looking actively for a trade, maybe because you're red or you didn't really find anything today, my recommendation is just to call it quits, right? If you've got a big P&L today, a big profit from today, and you're just looking to play around, maybe 1, 2 micros, see what we do, but I really wouldn't hard press anything. Curious to know, on the 38% of people who are red today, was that because, and you guys can just answer in chat, was that because you were looking for bounces at these low of days and it just kept on bleeding? Because you almost have to think, if you got short on any green pop, or you took active short setups through low of days, or ranges that we've been in, you should have made money, right? So I'm just curious to know, like the last bounce, I'll just give you an example. The last bounce that I took, I was wrong, right? Like I lost the $85, which is fine. So I'm not sitting here looking for another bounce, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, we made a new low, let me bounce it again. I mean, the market's still showing me that we're going lower. The only thing I could have done is to say, hey, let's just ride this thing short until, use a previous 5-minute candle stop or something and just get short. But I mean, again, for me, like, I can't chase this market down 3.5%, 700 points. So I would need to see some type of a long setup, for just, even if it's just a quick scalp. But I'm not going to continuously look for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, I was wrong once. Okay, great. Like that was my shot and it didn't work out. So I'm not going to go back in. I'm just curious, like, if some of you guys who maybe are red today were doing that. And again, even though I was wrong on that last setup, well, I wasn't playing like size that was aggressive, that was going to hurt me, like, again, on that type of move, maybe we can size down, right? Like, to where if you are wrong on your analysis, it's not going to hurt you. That's bad. I was red, went green later in the day. Okay. Reason I was red is I kept getting stopped out when going short after a pullback. Yeah, ranges are big. I can see how that can happen. Especially when ranges are big. Curious to know, Marlon, what's the size you're playing with? What's the size? How many contracts? And what's your stop loss? How many points, or what's the dollar amount? I'm just curious. On let's say you were going short and got stopped out in the process of it going short. I'm just curious, how many contracts are you playing? What's your stop loss? Three to 5 MES and a 20 tick stop loss. Let's see, what is the MES's range today? Because normally I do like 5-point stop losses. on the ES. Right now we got about a 6.5 point range still. So yeah, volatility is high. 8-point range, 8-point range, 8-point range, 10-point range. Yeah, that's a big range for the ES today. Big range. To be truthfully honest, I guess the only thing we could have done is closer to off the open, maybe within the first 30 minutes to an hour. Look at that ATR. I mean, the ATR was never under 5 points on the MES today. We're getting a little bit of a dead cat bounce here. You know, truthfully speaking, a 10-point stop loss. So adjusting that position size down to withstaying a 10-point stop loss, which again I know is a lot on the on ES, but we have to play to the strengths and weaknesses of what the market is doing. And if the market was showing us that, you know, ES is having a range of 6 to 8 points on a 5-minute candle, a 5-point stop loss is going to get tagged, even if we're right on our analysis, if that makes sense. So in that particular scenario, what you can do is, if I'm playing 3 to 5 MES, but our range is well over 6 points, 7 points, 8 points, there's no chance in hell I'm going to play 5 MES. I might play 3 max, and I might open that stop loss up to 10 points. Or I might play 2 MES. Yeah, I know you're not going to make a lot of cash when you look for the same price target, but the ranges are bigger today. So if I'm playing 2 MES and I'm giving myself a 10-point stop loss, it's basically like I'm playing 5 MES and giving myself a 5-point stop loss, if that makes sense. Red from trying to bounce play and also failed 20 play. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of the bounces, you know, they didn't work for anything today. So trying to call those bottoms, I mean, you guys, if you were on here, you've seen it. You know, I took the hit on one attempt at a bounce as well. It is just hard. I mean, like look at the severity of the candle today. I mean, we were aggressively going against the trend, which you kind of have to just eat it, right? But also curious to know, on that 20 SMA play, was it long or was it short, Zach? That 20 SMA that you lost on, was it long or short? Getting that red percentage going up a little bit. Curious to know, it was also long. Yeah, see, so what you can, I mean, again, it's so much easier in hindsight, Zach, right? Like it's easy for you or myself to sit here and say, well, we should have never gone long, right? It's easy to say that in hindsight, because I see, you know, the long setup that you probably took. It was right here at around 10:20 my time, Pacific Standard, confirmed by a tick, I believe. 178 to 178.75. I mean, literally confirmed by a tick and then just fucking shot back down. It's easy to say we're building a floor here, this is the one. I get it. You know, is that loss justifiable? I mean, absolutely. The only thing is that, yeah, so like I see the setup, right? I see the setup. I see the thought process. We had a damn floor right here. That was the low. Now we're coming back up. I get it. The only thing we can do, right, is just to make sure that position size that we did trade wasn't large enough to where that move to the downside, because we're going to get stopped out for a good 30, 40 points, depending if you're going to give it the full reason why, unless you have like a harder stop loss at 10 points or 15 points or something. Looked great. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Looked great. It was just an absolute fake out, right? So when we see, like, again, I try to put these, I ask for this kind of stuff is because you know, I try to put myself in that situation and kind of see, you know, what would I do? I could see myself taking that setup as well, because we're coming off of that strong green candle. I'm looking at a floor. Let's ride, right? Like, let's go, like, let's push back up. I would also be thinking to myself too, though, I can't play my normal size, because if I'm wrong, just because of the severity of the move today, if I'm wrong, I'm not trying to get smoked for 30, 40 points, right? Quickly. So for one, I've got to be trading micros, and then I've got to limit my downside risk by my position size. I think the most I probably could have traded on that, to be honest, is 2 to 3 micros where I would have felt comfortable. And taking the hit on the loss, which is fine, take the hit on the loss, but then not look for so much as a scalp. I would have been looking for a bigger price target, right? Because I was only trading 2 or 3 micros, I would have been looking for 20, 30, 40, 50 points to the upside. Basically would have been looking for that to have been the low of the day, and then we at least retraced, you know, 30, 40, 50% off the floors. That would have made that trade worth it. Or just take the loss. Like, just take the loss on 2 or 3 micros at 30, 40 points or whatever it was. Was selling the put for 19,000 on NQ today's expiration with anticipation on assignment end of day at 40. Okay. Four minutes, guys. Market's going to close up here. Make sure, again, if you're trading prop, make sure all your positions are flat going into the close. Make sure you guys don't have any outstanding orders. Maybe you guys put a stop order out there sometime earlier in the day that never got hit. Always double check, again, especially if you're copy trading. Make sure none of your other accounts have reversed a position. I've seen that in the past. Make sure that we also, you know, like, again, don't have any pending orders that might get tagged into the close. And make sure we're flat all the way across the board. The last thing I would like to see anyone have happen is, you know, you guys are green on the day or even red, and then something went off into this close because there was something outstanding, and then it, you know, completely made you lose an account, or you know, God forbid, you know, threw you from green to red. Market now off that hammer candle is pushing up into this supply. 20 SMA supply sitting at 1923. See if it tries to reach for that into the close. Look for 23s. Anything above 23s, 44s. This would be a little bit of a Biggs bottom setup again if you were trying to catch that floor and bounce, but again, you should be green and you should be out if you were looking for that particular setup. Probably one of the only bounces today that really fucking worked, right? I guess you could say, for more than just a few points. And that came 5 minutes into the close. We are mostly trading prop firms. We can't trade futures options on prop firms. Yeah, but most of the people are trading prop. But again, there are others people out there who are trading options and stuff. I got a lot of people in my room who trade options as well. Looks like we're going to end this fresh combine with Top Step up 3,605. Again, funny money. It's only a combine, means absolute shit. But that's what we did today. All right, so that's where we're going to end it today. We'll see how long it's going to take to pass. This is a $150,000 combine. I'll probably be streaming a lot more this week after the open to see if we can pass this thing. I don't know if we're going to pass it this week, but my goal would be to pass it by next week, by next Friday. So if we can, that's good. And then I might honestly be rotating on Top Step into all 150K accounts. So trying to take out what I've got from the 50K XFAs, just take those withdrawals and just roll them into more 150Ks and get all of those 150Ks on XFAs. Trying to build a business plan around that. We'll see, you know. We'll see. There's the market close, guys. Again, thanks for hanging out. Hit the like button on your way out. If you enjoyed the stream, hit the like button on your way out. Again, not a whole lot of, you know, solid action today from when I came on, but again, I mean, the market was so far down, you know, it was just kind of riding the trend. You know, and maybe looking for that one or two opportunities to try and bounce, but you know, again, it is what it is. If you guys enjoyed the stream, hit that like button. I will be streaming this week, so if you do want to get notified when I do stream, make sure you hit the bell notification. If you guys need more, again, have to do the house keeping, guys. If you guys are looking for evaluation accounts, Apex, you can have up to 20 of them. Again, I do not work for Apex. I'm just an affiliate. So if you guys use the link down in the description box below, they toss me like $2.50 every time someone signs up. Full transparency, you know, it is what it is. You guys can also get affiliate links. I do recommend everyone go get an affiliate link. Tell your friend, tell your mom, tell your neighbor, tell the grandma, you know, tell whoever. Start a YouTube channel, do whatever, journal your trades. I also recommend everyone, like if you guys are not like seriously like introverted where you're comfortable talking, I'm not saying that you have to get on YouTube and necessarily teach anything, because again, you know, whether you know anything to teach is even one thing at all. But what I'm saying is I would recommend everyone to document your progress, right? And use it as a journal for you. And to be completely honest, you know, 4.5, I think it's 4.5, maybe even 5 years. I think it's probably about 4 years. When I first started YouTube, I was only just using it to journal. Like I was going over charts on stocks and I was looking at specific levels and I was talking about the price action and what I was looking for the next day. And that helped me, right, with my analysis for the next day, right? That really helped me for the analysis for the next day. And then it just turned into growing a small community or whatever. But again, definitely recommend you guys to do it, right? There's no harm in it. Doesn't take much, you know, doesn't take much. But again, I'll catch you guys all on the flip side. See you